Hey, 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 Emily, how are you?
Hey, Michelle. Oh my God, I am so excited for the wine part. I think even more than usual. If my
Uh,
hand gestures tell you everything.
they are. So we are not in Studio C together today, and
No,
we are
we're
we
not.
are trying a couple things out. I'm in Studio C, and Emily's in Studio
E.
E. Right.
Yes.
Studio Emily, we are practicing
Yeah.
social distancing and staying healthy the best we can.
Absolutely.
I can hear me again.
I know. We're trying all these new technologies out for the first time. We did some tests, but there's
Until
a
you go
learning
live,
curve. So we're going
until
to just
you
do our best
right,
here. And
until we go live, we don't really know. So yeah, listeners and viewers, we are using Ecamm Live today. And how do I do that? Add to broadcast. Hi, Jamie. I'm trying this new
hello,
thing.
friend.
I'm adding that to, and then how do I take it out? Oh,
Yes.
did I
So
just?
bear with us for a moment, but we are all so excited that you are here joining us. We were actually, we always look forward to our time of the month. It's a very special time for us.
Yes, it
It
is.
only lasts an hour, which is pretty remarkable.
Right.
But it gives us a great opportunity to check in with all of you, all of our friends, all of our Cliterati, our Clitomes, our what are clit
Clitter
hotties, all of
hotties. Our
them.
clitter
Yes,
hotties.
clitter hotties.
Yeah.
And so we thought that given the circumstances with most of the world practicing social distancing these days, it was even more important for us to to make sure we were there. And we're talking about all kinds of things that of ways that we can continue to have little online parties to invite you in. But we're really glad you're here with us
Yeah, and
today.
we would like to first start off with a quick mental health check-in with everybody, and bear with me while we're going to pull up a question, and we would like for you to indicate in the in our comments how you're feeling during the coronavirus time. Are you enjoying all of your pajama time? Are you reaching out for your friends and conversations? Are you grateful for the wine time? And have you realized that the price of daycare and kids schooling is a bargain compared to this? So just we'd like to hear from you and see how you're feeling and things of that nature today on the show. And
Yeah.
we have two really great guests that we're going to have on the show today. One, actually both of them, just because of listening to the podcast and watching our live stuff and things like that. We're first going to be joined with by Denise Naughton, and then later in the program, we're going to be joined by Dr. Becky Lynn, our resident sexual health expert. And we are going to talk to both of them about life and what's going on. And so, well, we're going to go ahead.
Yeah, well,
And
we need to do first things first, Michelle. We need to talk about our wine.
God, Emily, if I didn't
We're
have you to keep me on
see,
track, I'd have been. We'd be done with the show already because I've been switching all the scenes and playing with the toys.
I know.
Yeah, thanks.
You're over there technology tweaking, which I'm very thankful for because I am not the technology savvy person. So
So
I
let's.
really, this is, maybe this is where we balance out.
Mm,
I'm, I'm maybe more savvy here. You're a little savvy there. It's perfect. It's a perfect marriage. But so since we're all coming from different directions, we are all drinking something different. Today, I'm drinking a wine that I picked up at the wine merchant. It was one of those that was in their email, and they're like, "This is a heck of a bottle." I believe it was very highly rated by Jane Suckling, and it was somewhere within that sweet spot of price point between $15 and $20. Um, this is kind of interesting. It's in this like
is it
kind of
metal?
ceramic.
Oh,
It's like a ceramic
ceramic.
bottle. Yeah, so I will definitely be keeping it. And even the cork is pretty. It's well designed.
How many
So this
times have
is
you ever heard Emily say, "This is a pretty cork"? on our show. So this is a first.
Time. Yeah, so this comes from the Languedoc region in France. It's by Gerard Bertrand, and it's a red blend from 2015. I have to say, I opened this yesterday and had a glass, and I'm actually liking it better today. So clearly, this is a wine that I think does well with a little bit of air. It's a lot of red fruit up front. I'm getting, those cherries and strawberries. But what's really exciting that's coming out with a little bit more time is that savory quality in it. A lot of the garrigue, those dried herbs that I feel like I've put my face in the mossy earth a little bit. And you know how much I love that.
Yeah.
So so that's what I got going on. What about you?
Well, let's see. I did not bring, I have a glass right here. All right. Good
solid pour there.
Because we are in separate locations and not sharing the same bottle, I poured this for me to make sure that I don't over drink. As the girl running the technology, I don't want to pass out on the board and then this Facebook Live goes on for 24 or 48 hours, right? So I'm drinking.
Capturing all kinds of things the rest of the world does not need to see.
Absolutely. My cat will come through and be like, turn this off. So I'm drinking a boxed wine and from the wine merchant, and it is a Barbera from the Piedmont region. And, that's a region that's it's in the red zone in Italy, so I feel like I could do my part and drink some Italian wine. And it's a 2016, and it's called Divigenti. Oh, you can't see that.
Okay.
No, you can't see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it is 3 liters. The box is 3 liters, and it was only $17. So in effect, I got 4 bottles for $17.
That's amazing. And that's not even Aldi wine. That's good.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I like to check out what the wine merchant has over there in their box selection, on occasion.
It's always good. It's always good. They're not going to bring in anything, that isn't tasty. So, and very good. Those guys, how much we talk about them all the time. We love them. Right now, they're offering, parking lot pickup. Come in, call them, let them know you're there. They'll bring it out, pop your trunk, drop it in. I mean, so, this is definitely a time to keep supporting our local favorite restaurants, shops,
as best you can. If you can just make sure you do it in a safe manner. The only thing that I would say about this wine, because it's very tasty, and I opened it up about an hour ago in the glass, trying to let it, get some. So it's very tasty. I'm not, our listeners know that I'm not nearly as savvy on the tasting notes. But this is a wine that will make you want to change your coronavirus panties, your stay-at-home panties, and put a new pair on. All right? It is not. It'll inspire you to get cleaned up. So
okay,
yeah,
I love that. Well, this wine might make you want to take your panties off so you can have a little fun rolling around in the forest floor with your person of choice.
Well, and I don't know if you watched on the news the other day that they did actually suggest that while you're social distancing, that the best sex to have is just with yourself these days. So you'll kind of know, hey, this is a great glass of wine. I'm about to go upstairs by myself. Leave me alone.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised there really hasn't been a run on batteries the same way there's been a run on toilet paper,
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't had to fight anybody off for them. Have you? You're good? You haven't had to fight them off?
I haven't had to fight anybody off. Nope. No.
So let's bring in.
Should we bring in our fun producer friend
and add her
partner
to the
Denise is coming on in.
She is in the broadcast now. Denise, say hello to everybody and tell us what you're drinking.
Ooh, hello everyone. I'm all
Oh,
I have a red. Let me look and see what it is. This was a Vincent's Market purchase when I was out searching for toilet paper and other necessities. It is Nero Diavola. So Corvo.
ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty. It's a little on the fruity side for me, a little fruitier than I normally like, but desperate times. Okay. It's here, it's
Right.
open, it's in my glass. I'm enjoying it.
It is a good thing. Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, we want to know what everybody else out there is drinking. We always encourage our community to join us in a glass. So please share with us whatever it is that you're drinking. If it's something delightful and adult, or water, we will accept that too. So just share with us what's on your palate tonight. And if you have a panty comparison, of course, we're interested.
Yeah, as you can see, if you type it in the comments, I can add it to the broadcast. And I'm learning how to do all that, and it's like so much fun. And so if I look like I'm distracted, it's just because I'm, working on all of these other things.
You just need a few more arms, Michelle.
I need an intern, something like that.
We do need an intern.
We need interns.
Yes.
But one of the things that we talked about, because we know that this can be a sad time, a depressing time, a confusing time, and we were like, let's try to bring a little levity. Let's try to just talk to each other and maybe ask some questions. And if you're hearing the dings, people are texting me, and I don't know how to turn the notifications off on my computer, so we'll just have to deal with that right now. It just shows how popular I am. Oh, let's see what Marcia says about what she's drinking and what it makes her think of.
Meredith Such is drinking Italian, of course. Ooh, it's a Chardonnay, an Italian Chardonnay. That sounds amazing. Sounds really good. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I did not see Meredith's comment. Maybe it'll show up eventually.
I'm multitasking devices here, so
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Michelle.
Yes.
What's our first
question?
Kind of fun question?
Let me bring it up here, girls.
Yeah.
Question number 1. What childhood thing do you still enjoy today?
Oh, I know what I still enjoy.
If you say wine,
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, we need to talk to those parents.
No, childhood thing. And I think this is really appropriate right now, too. I enjoy goofy dancing. And so, this is not the, twerking or, trying to turn my partner on. This is just straight up, being as silly as possible and, unashamed and goofy dancing. That is something I try to, find time every day for, and especially right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have to do it a couple times a day or just one time a day, or?
I mean, whatever inspired, but I would say, it's usually in the evening after a glass of wine, got the music playing, or sometimes it's when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking, but I have a really good time goofy dancing. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And maybe depending on how much wine I drink tonight, I might even share a little bit of what that looks like later.
And guess what, Emily? I could make you large on the screen, and then you can show everybody your dancing.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. If I might be convinced to.
So Marcia Myers likes amusement parks. From her childhood. Denise, what are you? What would you like?
You know what? I love Pez. It's kind of random.
Pez?
Yeah, as a kid, I wasn't I don't know when I got into it, but at some point I got into it, and then I was collecting them, and then I moved across the country, and I left them all behind, and now people are still giving them to me. Pez dispensers.
You said
my gosh. So you have a collection of these?
Oh, hold on. I do. I didn't
Uh-oh,
realize
did you break?
how close this was actually, but like this is one, like a giant.
Oh my God,
Pez.
they actually make Pez's that are that big?
Sorry, now we've got to take me out to the ball game. I forgot it did that. It's just the pad.
Oh my God,
Pez
that's
dispensers.
amazing.
Oh my gosh. That's
Now we've got to take me out to the ball game. I'm sorry.
I have been to your place so many times and I have never been offered a Pez.
Well, those are a solid 10 years old. So I mean, if next time you come over,
we're all good. We're good. But I'm really excited to know that you have this affinity towards Pez. Those are such a great candy.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I always loved as a kid the Fun Dip. Do you remember Fun
yeah.
Dip?
Yes.
And I loved the dipstick. That was like the best part. You know, I'd like try to conserve it and then like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
towards the end.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wish they sold just the stick.
I wonder, they probably do if you researched it, you know, and like looked online or eBay or something. You know, I bet
yeah.
they do somehow like that.
Meredith. I love Meredith. She loves swinging on swings and jumping on trampolines. Those are all so much fun. Trampolines get a little trickier as you get a little older, I find, but I love, but I do love them. Yes.
I think I figured out why we're not seeing Meredith. She's probably watching from your share.
Oh, maybe she's watching it from my watch party. Yeah,
That's what's
it could
happening.
be.
Because I can't.
Yeah.
Get everybody out there, we're learning as we go along. So, you know, things like that. If you want to have any of your comments included, make sure you go to the Clearly Speaking page and comment from there, because then we can see that. You know, there's limitations with everything. You know, if we had an unlimited, if we had a $500 billion slush fund, we could have the studio and the people running it. But Congress,
we just have a little fundraising to do.
Congress did not appropriate that to us. So,
Yes.
so we are doing the best we can with what we have.
Michelle,
yeah.
What is the childhood thing that you still enjoy?
That I still enjoy. Okay, this is I feel very vulnerable sharing this with you guys. It's ice cream.
Why would you feel vulnerable with that?
I set it up like ice cream. You know, I just love. I do like ice cream. But one of my favorite memories from a childhood was when my grandfather, who passed away a couple of years after this happened, he and I were hanging out. I don't know if we're in St. Louis or we were back in South Carolina. The memory is not that clear, but I remember he took me to go get ice cream, and then we came home to where we were, and my cousins and my brother were there, and I was about 4 years old, and I got out of the car, and I was like, I had ice cream, and you didn't.
So what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
People who know me well know that my favorite flavor of ice cream is peanut butter and chocolate, and however that can be put together. And then second is going to be like mint chocolate chip.
What do you think the Cliterally Speaking flavor of ice cream would be? And that one might be a good question for our community. Like, what do you think it is?
You know, let me type that in.
Yeah, let's find out. So, you know, something that from childhood that I miss that I, you know, would love to still do, but, you know, I don't know, roller skating. I grew up on roller skates. We roller skated every weekend, like from the time I was 3, you know, up until my, you know, young adult years. And, you know, I just remember like always going up to the record booth, asking the guy to put on Queen, you know, like Another One Bites the Dust and that kind of stuff, and you know, roller skating around in a circle.
Could you backwards skate pretty well?
I'm not so great at the backwards skating. My mom was a figure roller skater. She can seriously skate. And I remember, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or so, we went roller skating in Peoria together. And oh my God, she still has the moves. We were, you know, skating around the rink, and she's cute. She's got this cute
Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay.
It was. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it was really fun to see her shimmy on the, roller rink floor. But yeah, no, we did I remember doing things like the bunny hop and limbo and all of those things on skates. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. That was we had some good times at the skating rink in Alabama when I lived there on base. So, let's see. Do we want to move on to? We've asked for flavor of ice cream, and we had Marcia replied with big pink bubble gum. Anybody else has anything to add? I was thinking like a strawberry and cream is what I was thinking for Cliterally speaking.
Could it be a strawberry with strawberry bubblegum? Oh,
Chocolate covered cherry? Chocolate covered strawberry?
Ooh, that sounds good
that sounds
too.
really good.
That sounds
I
good.
love it. Yeah. Okay.
Let's get to question number 2 before we bring
Okay.
Becky on.
Before we bring Becky on?
Yeah,
sounds great.
Question 2 is, what job would you be absolutely terrible at?
Mm.
Oh my, this one's kind of tough. What did you say, Denise?
Many. Where do I start?
Anything with numbers would.
Oh,
I've done.
Yeah, I'd be a terrible accountant. I'd be a terrible IT director. I'd be a terrible garbage woman. I don't particularly enjoy being dirty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think those are. What is that noise?
I don't know what that noise is. It sounds like a chainsaw.
Or a paper shredder. One of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Whoever's doing it, stop.
So, Michelle, what would you be terrible at?
What would I be terrible at? Well, let me see here. Let me swap.
Nothing.
See, look, now I did a little different here. The job that I would be terrible at is anything that's not the boss.
Oh, okay. All right.
I know my limitations. I think I can do most anything except for something like really had like very hard physical labor. Like I think I'd find it very hard to be somebody that worked at UPS and loaded trucks.
Oh, sure.
I think that would be very hard on me. I think being a landscaper, like actually that was my job, I think I would be, eventually I would get good, but my clients would all quit on me beforehand.
Before you got there?
Before I got there. I think I would be fantastic as the president. So that's just, a thought. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would not be good at the.
You talked about delivery and UPS and whatnot, and I live in a neighborhood where our mail is carried, by hand, from door to door, and I have such respect for our mail delivery person because that is serious physical work. And let's face it, the days where it's gorgeous and you want to be outside carrying a load like that all the time are limited, and I think that is got to be such a hard job. Denise, was your father a mailman?
He was, yeah. He was a rural letter carrier, though, so a little bit different. I'm from a super small town, and so he carried mail for some of the smaller, if that's possible, smaller towns around mine. But he wasn't out walking around because of that, obviously. He actually turned a Volkswagen Bug into his mail car, and he took out the driver's seat, and that's where he could keep the mail. And then he fashioned some sort of like contraption that would claw and take the mail so that he could reach in and pull the mailboxes open. Anyway, much different.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Pretty ingenuitive. And had a lot of ingenuity, that guy.
Yeah.
You must have gotten that trait from him because you're pretty in whatever the word was in it's not ingenuity. Yeah, ingenuity. You have the same thing. You're very
Yeah.
ingenuine. What? Help me out here.
Inventive.
I'm
Inventive.
right. I'm like, what is the word? It's going up.
Yeah.
Ingenious.
Ingenious. Ingenious.
Oh my God. Genius.
Together,
I will take anything that has genius in it.
together, the three of us, we were able to get to it. You know, we were able to find the word. That's what I like about this. You know, this collaboration we have is that we can talk, like we can finally get to where we need to go. You don't leave me hanging with my words when I don't have them. Marcia Myers, was a terrible waitress, and we're going to tell.
Oh, okay, good to know. Denise, you had mentioned you'd be bad with numbers, which is where I left off. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd be terrible with numbers too. And so I totally interrupted you. What are some jobs that you would just be the worst at?
Oh, again, anything with numbers, anything with blood, I would be bad with.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Like, what if you had to be
anything with blood, anything with poop? Forget it.
What if you had to be like the throw up cleaner upper, the vomit cleaner?
Yeah.
Yeah. While you took that sip, Emily. Yeah, I'm glad I.
Do you remember in grade school when the kid would throw up in the class and they'd have to come in with their like
the kitty litter stuff? Yeah.
Oh my God, and it would make it smell even worse.
Yeah.
Like, how is that possible? Oh, yeah. That would be a job I would not be good at.
Wait, yours was sawdust? I don't know what ours was, but it smelled like wintergreen or something. And to this day, if I smell it,
it's triggering.
You get kind of like some gag reflexes going on.
It's triggering, isn't it? It's like, it's definitely a bad memory. Okay,
I would be a good wine taster.
Yes. Next month's show,
we're going to switch it to something tasty. I'm like, how can we get off this?
Next month's show, we'll talk about what things we're good at. Yeah. So let's bring on Dr. Becky Lynn. She is joining us from Studio
B.
Studio B.
Yeah, we've got B.
Hey,
C,
D,
and E. It's all covered, the first part of the alphabet. Welcome, Becky. It's so great to see you.
Thank you. This is so exciting.
So for all of our new followers who haven't listened to our entire library of podcasts yet, Dr. Becky Lynn is a regular contributor of our show. She is an OBGYN. She specializes in women's sexual health, and she has a particular passion for helping women who are perimenopause, postmenopause, making sure that they have happy, healthy sex lives. And we've also partnered with Becky on adult bedtime stories where we combine evenings of erotic literature and adult sex ed. So we thought, wouldn't it be awesome to bring Dr. Becky Lynn on our show this evening to talk about just great, healthy ways to cope during this time. And of course, we want to check in on our good friends. So, hello.
Hello. Everything's good over here. I'm really excited to be here. The whole time you guys were talking about all those fun questions, I have to say I'm a fun dip person. And I really wish that there was, just the sticks. And I used to hoard my Fun Dips, so I would still have some while my brothers had already finished theirs.
I'm a candy hoarder also. Right. Spoils before I eat it because I have the intention of saving it for a special occasion, know?
Well, what are you drinking tonight, Becky?
So I am drinking a Chardonnay, and that's all I can tell you because this is all we had in the refrigerator. So I just poured it without looking. So I have no idea what it is, but it tastes good.
All right.
I love Chardonnays. Fabulous. So you were recently in California. You're home now, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. And you also, since we last spoke with you, have had a major transition. You were working in a hospital. Now you have your own private practice.
Correct. Yeah.
How has that transition gone for you?
Well, it was going great until the apocalypse.
Right.
But it's been really good. I'm really glad that I made the transition. I'm now running Evora Center for Menopause and Sexual Health, and it's a private practice, and I really have a lot of time to spend with my patients. That's part of why I left corporate medicine, because it was so many patients in a day. I only had like 2 minutes to talk to everybody, and then I was in a huge rush, and it's not good. It's not quality care. So I left in order to give myself more time with my patients, because when I talk about things that are sexual, or when you talk about all the myriad of symptoms that go along with the menopause, you can't do it in 5 minutes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been really, really excited to be on my own. So I'm not in the hospital. So in a way, I feel fortunate that I'm not on the front lines, but if they need me on the front lines, I will be first to go.
Yeah.
Like I told you guys earlier, I'm in the process of making masks, because I am going to work tomorrow because somebody needs to see me. It's an acute thing. And so I'm making masks.
Wow.
Well, totally simple.
How are you using the N95 Like, how are you doing this so that you know? No.
I have an N95, and actually there's an awful shortage, a huge shortage of N95. So part of me, I've been sort of sheltered at home. I've been doing my visits via telehealth. So I can still see my patients. I can still talk to them. We're just doing it kind of like this video platform. But I have thought about, like, should I buy a mask? Should I buy gloves? But I'm sitting at home, and I'd rather those N95s go to people on the front line.
Yeah.
So I have to try to buy one. So because I have to go tomorrow, it's sad that, like, in our first world country we have to do this. I looked online to make a homemade mask, and I have a lot of friends who've been making homemade masks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wear one. My medical assistant's going to wear one. My patient's going to wear one, to protect us all. But, things happen. Gynecological problems happen, and you can't cure them until wait. So I'm like, I will come in and see you. So it's definitely been a weird way to start a new practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, like over the last couple of days, and I've been talking to her. She's a material scientist, and she was kind of like talking about some of the key problems with masks is that they actually don't really fit your face really well. And then she was also talking about, like, it might be important to think about how to, kind of weave something in there to create like a filtration system. And I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I'll share what little I know with you.
No, but that's what people are doing. So I just took like cotton t-shirts because I read online cotton was the way to go. And I made them double-sided. And so then I haven't really figured out, like, I heard that like vacuum filters.
Oh, sure.
I don't know that we have any vacuum filters. Those are kind of things of the past. Or like I've heard of people taking like 2-liter Coke bottles and taking that plastic and putting it in. And then to make sure that it fits around my nose, like, I can't believe I'm doing this. If you told me I was doing this, like, a month ago, I'd be like, what? There's no pandemic. But you take like a
paper clip?
A paper clip, and then you can like fit it around your nose.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
It's very makeshift, but first of all, I can't buy any because nobody has any masks. But even if I could, I want the main N95s to go to people on the front line.
Right. Yeah.
Have
you heard from people, your fellow physicians and stuff who are still on the front line, how they are coping?
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy because I belong to a lot of physician like Facebook groups and stuff, and it is so terrible what's going on in New York. Some of my former partners in Colombia, because we share call, or I don't now, but I used to share call with a group. And so at Columbia, there are a couple of them who shouldn't be on the front lines. Maybe they're older, have underlying conditions. So the people extra to see on these, Facebook physician groups, just craziness of lack of supplies. Everybody's trying to find a mask. There's just not enough I mean, it's like a dire situation. It's something that you would never believe. If you told me this a year ago that I'd be making a mask out of a cotton t-shirt, I'd be
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Yeah, it's definitely, it's really crazy. But one thing, on a lighter note, I've been like sleeping in and working from home. I'm going to have to like get my butt out of bed and like show up for work one of these days, which is a good thing. But I'm like, this is so nice. I can wear my pajamas all day, but it's dire and it's scary, and it's really, really, really scary.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I can appreciate you're somebody who, you've always worked really, really hard, long hours, and even when you're not working hard, you're out there running several miles. You're always someone that's on the go. And so I think one of the silver linings of this moment is that we are taking times to connect with the people that we love and care about. Slowing ourselves down a little bit, taking care of ourselves in a different way. And I think those are some positives. So I'm glad that you're getting time at home with your family.
I am. We cleaned house all day long.
I can tell you that we've done some rearranging of furniture already. William has my for the listeners of the podcast, they know William, and he has come up with some great ideas on the furniture should go a different way in the house, and I'm like, go for it. And he rearranged our music room. It looks fantastic.
That's great.
And he's like, I'm only going to do a little bit at a time, Mom, because I have a lot of time in front of me that I can work on the house. And I said, yeah, it's not like we have to get everything done on Saturday, because we have to go back, and be someplace else on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. But I also joked with him today when I sat down and we were having our dinner, and I was like, virus talk, and statistics, and what do you think? And he's just looking at me, almost glazed over. And I said, William, you're the one who has to talk to me. I mean, it's how it is. And he's like, it's okay. It's like, it's going to be fine, Mom. It's going to be fine.
Thank goodness for William.
Well,
these little conversation questions that we have, maybe we need to send him a few of those links so that he can give you little questions like, if you were an animal, Mom, what would you be?
Right. In case I run out of things to talk about with him, for sure.
Or in case he needs to get you out of the virus mode,
Yeah, there's that.
We are all, we're aware and we care and we're concerned, but it's also important to not just get buried in it, because we've got to keep our morale and our spirits up. And there are ways that we can, create something new, indulge in a part of ourselves that maybe has been sleeping for a few years. So,
He did say to me when we were in the car the other day, he said, Mom, after the last the last plague, whichever, the Black Plague or whichever plague it was, he said, came the Renaissance. He said, so I'm looking forward to what may come after this. Are we going to
my God, that's beautiful.
Arts, our writing, our creation, our creativity, is that going to, our philosophies, what good things can come from this?
So innovation comes from disaster, right? It's kind of the same idea as William had, that now we're in such a situation, people really are forced to innovate and be creative. So I definitely agree with him.
Yeah. And
then figure out new ways to ventilate people and handle problems and
make stuff, right? I mean, you're already making a mask at home. I mean, that's innovation right there, right? Out of need. when before we would have been like, well, we'll just go to the store and buy it,
Right.
but now we have to have it. Another thing I heard today, and I don't know if how many of our listeners also listen to Gaslit Nation with Sarah Kendzior and Andrea Chalupa. And one of the things that they said on their most recent episode is we are at war with ourselves, right? So having to stay at home, the only thing we have to fight is ourselves, because our ancestors and they went to World War II and they fought Nazis and they fought people, and all I have to do is stay at home and watch Netflix and fight my habits, right?
Right, fighting ourselves, right?
Fighting ourselves,
our luxuries,
and
our comfort,
things that that we did, like go to Starbucks every day, get a coffee, get a tea, or whatever it is. And now it's like, really, do I need that? If that tea, if me going to get that tea, would that put somebody at risk because maybe I'm carrying it, I don't know it. It's like trying to just put things in like a little bit better perspective, and if we can just learn to be comfortable with our battle and facing our habits, I think we're going to be better off, when we come out of this, because we are going to come out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Becky, do you have some thoughts as somebody who is, who is in the profession of health? Mm-hmm. Do you have some thoughts on things that people should be thinking about doing right now for physical and mental and emotional health?
Yeah. So I think that's really, really important because, day one, you get to stay home from work and it's all fun and dandy. But, day 14, you're kind of miserable being stuck in the house. So for your own mental health and your own mental well-being, I think it's really important to try and get some exercise. And I think there's two important routes to that. So especially in these very stressful, very anxiety-provoking times, a lot of people are worried about their jobs, money. But, walking in the neighborhood is free. And just getting out, first of all, sunshine. I know it's been raining, but today we actually had some sun, but just getting outdoors and just take a walk around the block can do wonders for your mental health. And just I'm a big proponent of aerobic exercise where you really get your heart rate up, because when you get your heart rate up, it releases endorphins in your brain. Those are your feel-good hormones. It's good for depression. It's good for PMS. It actually helps your libido. It's just there's so many wonderful things about aerobic exercise. So if you're stuck at home and all the gyms are closed, go walk around the block, run around the block, walk briskly, walk up hills. And it's just for your own mental health, you'll feel so much better. The second thing that I'm a big proponent of is yoga. So yoga does so many things during stressful times. So it helps you calm anxiety. It helps you relax. But then it also builds strength. It strengthens your core. And nobody likes doing sit-ups, so you might as well do some yoga. And it also helps with flexibility. And as we get older, and especially if we work at a desk job, we're like this, like over our computer, our posture, our back is humped over. Like it just really helps open things up and provides flexibility. And everything gets stiffer as you get older. Your joints, your muscles, even your blood vessels, they get stiffer as you get older. And that's why people get hypertension and high blood pressure. So and yoga is free. You can do it if you go to I like Yoga by Candace and Yoga with Adrienne, and they're free, and you can do them in your living room, and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I think those two things are really, really important.
I have seen a lot of yoga studios in St. Louis offering like live streaming or on their doing a Zoom yoga, because a lot of time people go to yoga because, not only for all those benefits that you stated, was because of the community. When you're all in there struggling for that downward dog, and you're like, is she going to let us down? I'm done. I need to be down. I want to go to child's pose right now. It's kind of cool when you're like with other people feeling the same way. And so I think it's, again, innovation and using the technologies that are available to us to still have that community. So if you have been going to a studio, I'm sure your studio has reached out in a variety of ways. I mean, we're all getting lots of emails and Facebook messages and things like that about what they're trying to do. And they're small business people. And, you know, like that yoga studio owner who can't have you in her in her studio right now, you know, could benefit from attending virtually and paying for that class. We had
so my friend Amanda, who is watching through my watch party, Amanda Safeford, which you both met. Becky, you haven't, but Amanda has a yoga studio in Peoria, Illinois, and she was complimenting that recommendation that saying that of course it's tremendous for your health, especially right now. Mm-hmm. And she was saying that, it's prolific right now. There's so many studios that are streaming all around. So I love your recommendation, Becky. I've done yoga with Adrienne. Denise, you actually turned me onto that. I'm not familiar with Candace. Certainly we'll share. Yeah, we'll certainly share some of these on our Facebook page for our viewers if you want some good links. And Amanda, you're such an expert in this. I would love for you to also share some recommendations. So thank you for that. Becky, something I did not know was that cardio is good for your libido.
Oh, yeah. I mean, both men and women.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. Because you release adrenaline or epinephrine, and that kind of gets your heart racing. And they've done studies for both men and women. It improves libido. And I was like, oh, studies on women. Oh my gosh, they had women run on a treadmill, and then now they're in the mood. So, you're stuck at home with your lover. Just get on the treadmill.
Yeah. So now when
I don't care.
Jumping jack.
So when your lover says to you, "Hey, honey, that treadmill's looking awfully good, don't you think?" That's not that he's trying to come on to you. It's not like he's not telling you that your butt's getting big. He's just telling you that let's go play, let's have some sex and stuff like that. It's all about the perspective.
And there's always goofy dancing. If you don't want to run, just goofy dance.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Actually, I have to say, I love goofy dancing too. I just love dancing in general. And so, all of us, my whole family, me, my husband, my 2 kids, we always Alexa, play such and such, and we all dance in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can join me, Becky, in the goofy dance party afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds good. We'll close with a little.
The 2 of you guys goofy dancing while I run the technology here. Well, we do have we have one more question. Becky, I hope you can stay with us as we answer this. We pose this third question to our listeners and our viewers, and then and we'll want to answer this ourselves. So hold on. Oh shoot! Question 3. Would you rather go back to the age of 5, knowing all you know now, or know everything your future self will learn? It's kind of a deep question. We'll ponder on it.
It is a deep question, and it's really tough, because, imagine having the ability to go through life knowing all that you've accumulated. But I personally would have to say that I would rather start here and move forward. And my primary reason for that answer is Iggy Pop. Because I'm crazy about him. And, if life were different, because I had all this knowledge, would I have Iggy Pop? I don't know. And I'm just not willing to risk it.
So are you saying that if you had all this knowledge before you had Iggy Pop, you would not have gotten Iggy Pop because now you know what it's like?
No, I'm just saying that life would have unfolded in a different way, right? So I might not be in a place or circumstance to be able to find Iggy Pop and for him to be a part of my life.
I think if I went back to 5 years old, knowing what I know now, I would be the most annoying 5-year-old anybody has ever met.
I think we all.
Yeah.
Because it'd be
I would take that chance, though.
what did you say? You would, Denise? You would take that?
Yeah.
Tell us why.
I don't know. I mean, just being like that pretentious sort of old soul at 5 years old, and then like growing from that point forward would be, I don't know, kind of fun. I don't want to grow.
I don't want to know everything either. I just want to be that, like, oblivious little happy 5-year-old. I don't want all that when I was 5, because I look back on when I was just so happy. There was nothing bad in my life. It was all good and fun. So,
yeah. And innocence. There's an innocence you have that is
there's joy in that for sure.
Yeah. It's kind of a protective innocence in a sense, because you aren't aware of everything. Not to bring it all back to me, but when I was going through my cancer treatment, I kept telling our support group and stuff like that what really bothered me the most was that I couldn't go back to that innocence you had before you're diagnosed with cancer. And I liken it back to that scene in Pulp Fiction when Uma Thurman is, she's drunk and she's dancing to the music and, everything's all good. And like moments later, she's having a heroin overdose, but that beautiful, like freedom that she had, that's what it was like before the diagnosis.
Right.
So that's, I would hold on to that as a 5-year-old and just, I'll just be 50 and go forward, We have great comments. I'm sorry, Denise, I didn't catch that.
It's that goofy dancing like Uma Thurman.
Yeah, so we have a few minutes left, and I definitely want to see Emily and Dr. Becky goofy dance.
But we have, and that's towards the end. I mean, we still have 8 minutes of our time of the month here.
I know. We need to luxuriate in our time of the month.
This is right. It only happens once a month. So,
are there any comments from our people on like Melissa loved being 5?
Oh, yeah. It's such a great time. You're in kindergarten. You're starting to learn some things. You're, I don't know. You're smart enough to have conversations with your parents. It is a great time, and you're still playing with Barbie dolls and house and all that stuff. Like, oh my God, that is something kind of circling back to kind of our first question of the night, which was, what's a childhood thing that you still enjoy? Playing with Barbies. I don't play with Barbies, unfortunately, anymore as an adult.
That's okay.
But I sure wish I did. And in fact, Ken brought home a piece of furniture from storage the other day, and inside of it was there's a drawer and chocked full of childhood memories, and my favorite Barbie doll was in there. And he's like, oh, there's just a bunch of junk in that drawer. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, no. This is not junk. This is pink and pretty.
Oh, that's a hashtag, Emily. This is pink and pretty. You write that down. We have to definitely use that for sure.
Yeah. So I and I still think someday we're just going to have a play Barbie party,
Oh, sure. Maybe we'll do that on Zoom. I do know we want to let our listeners know, Emily and I talked about it, is this is, we love doing our live shows. We love recording in the studio and putting out our podcast episodes. But I feel we feel in this time, connections. And I know some of us have just been on the computer connecting with everybody all the time lately. But we wanted to have a little happy hour with 10 to 12 people on a Zoom call. And so if you would be interested in participating in that, I know, Becky, you're going to have a girls' night out soon on a Zoom call.
I am.
Yeah.
You guys should come.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll be joining it. But we want to do something like that with our Cliterati. So if you would like to participate in our Zoom call, and it'll be in the next few days, maybe early next week. We have to figure this out because we're virtually very busy. We're home.
Dates left and right.
Exactly. But we want to reach out and have an interactive conversation, which is nice to be able to see people's faces. So we'll definitely post about that on our Facebook page as well as Instagram and on all of the other socials and things like that we have going. And hold on, it says new comments. Oh my.
Is there a specific time that you think would be really nice? Like I was thinking, okay, the weekend's coming. This is going to be a weekend that nobody's going out.
Well,
Should we do it as a Friday night happy hour? Like if you have ideas, let us know. We're open.
Yeah, we're open. And if we have to do multiples, we're happy to do that too.
Be careful in the context you say that, Michelle.
You're right. If we're multiple Zoom calls, because like I said earlier in the show, right now, I know that Dr. Becky has recommendations of, doing treadmills with your partner, but they did say that it's better to have sex by yourself right now until you make sure you're not carrying.
Yeah, but if you're living with your partner, if you're living together, you're gonna, right?
Yeah. Maybe this isn't the time to start Tinder dating, right? Maybe this isn't the time to start doing that.
Probably not.
Maybe.
Can I see your papers? I need to see your test results.
Yeah, right. And the test results get longer and longer. Yeah. But we'll do multiple Zoom happy hour calls, whatever we can do. And we want to hear from you. We think about you guys like all the time, and we all across the globe. And we know that this isn't affecting just us in the United States. It affects all of us across the globe. So we want to make sure that our listeners and our viewers are staying healthy, and feel free to reach out to us and
please
and let us know how you're feeling. So we have a few minutes left, and I know that I'd like to, can you guys pull up a song, Emily? Emily, to dance to?
What should our song be?
Denise, are you going to happy dance with them?
Yeah, I think you should. Here, let me get my speaker.
Because I can remove us from the screen.
Oh, no. You can chair dance. Can't you do this?
Okay.
Come on. Staying alive? Cheer dance.
Yeah, do you have Staying Alive?
I might still have it up here. Let's see.
All right.
Can I say one thing though before we
please?
So just if people are interested in my virtual ladies night out, it'll be when I'm like Emily said, I'm a gynecologist. I specialize in sex and menopause. And April 2nd at 6 p.m., it'll be a free Q&A. You can ask your questions. You'll be in a safe environment. You don't have to be embarrassed. If you're interested, you can either go to my Facebook page, which is at Becky K. Lynn MD, or at Evora Center for Menopause and Sex. Not coming through.
No, and Becky, Emily's is feedback. Becky, could you share your event to Cliterally Speaking the podcast page?
Yeah. That's probably the best way to do it.
Everything is there, and then we'll be able to, people can connect there, because I can't type fast enough to put all that stuff on the screen, and we don't want anybody to miss it. So just share that to our web page. I'm not our web page, but our Facebook page. And then we will promote it as well. Is there a limit to the number of attendees?
So, no. I mean, I have Zoom and I put like 100. So, I mean, there's really no limit. The sky is the limit.
All right. So
I go with that, I'll increase the number.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. All right. So we have music.
We got Lizzo or the Bee Gees.
Lizzo.
All right, Lizzo.
Are you good with that, Becky? I'm not sure I had enough time. Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I haven't had enough time for Goofy Dancing either, but what's Goofy Dancing?
I have not, look guys, I've not finished it. Oh, that breaks my heart. That you thought you ever had it. No, you ain't from the start. Hey, I'm glad you're back with your bitch. I mean, who would wanna hide this? I will never, ever, 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 ever be your side chick. I put the single. Ain't worried about a ring on my finger. So you can tell your friend. Shoot your shot.
That is actually sexy dancing. I was legit goofy dancing.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So glad you could be with us today. Have I lost everybody?
Oh, we're all here. I was just talking about the fact that Becky was looking too sexy to be goofy dancing, and I was like actually legit goofy dancing.
I probably didn't get that one first time.
Well, let's clink our glasses. Let me do this cool sound effect, and then we'll close out the show because we're at an hour. Clink. And
Cool.
hold on. And then conclusion.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. So great to see you.